An immediate concern for the U.S. and Eastern Connecticut is the budget sequestration and the impact that it has on defense, like EB. What can you, as our senator, do to reach a workable agreement?
So, as I said, at the end of 2012, in that fourth quarter, there was about a 20% contraction in military purchasing in this country. And that was before sequester even hit, just getting ready for sequester. And so who knows what it's going to be in the first quarter of this year or the second quarter. We have an enormous part, as I don't need to tell you this here, of our economy here in the state that relies on the purchasing done through EB, through Pratt & Whitney, and through Sikorsky. And all of the small manufacturers, the hundreds of small manufacturers all throughout the state, mainly in Eastern Connecticut, but all throughout the state that do business for those prime suppliers. Now here's the good news. The good news is that we make military hardware in this state that is absolutely essential. The military is not going to stop buying submarines. They are not going to stop buying engines for jet planes, and they're not going to stop buying helicopters. But they can certainly slow that purchasing down. And when it comes to the sub program, it's particularly critical because you can't buy 1.5 submarines. You have to buy one or you have to buy two. And so we clearly want them to be buying 2 Virginia class a year. We also want them to be doing work on the new Ohio replacement class, which is due to start production in about a decade, but right now is employing a lot of engineers in this area getting ready for that moment. Well, they will slow down development of the Ohio class, and they potentially will drop back to 1 Virginia class versus 2 a year if these cuts go into effect. That's why, even though the House bill was, passed with majority Republicans, they did a smart thing by adding back money for the military. I think that they should have added back some other money to it, but what am I going to do about it? I'm going to argue to have add-backs to the military budget, not to get them all the way back up to where they were before, but to at least make sure that they don't slow down these critical components. And then also argue for some other common sense add-backs as well. Let me make one other comment about that, though. The other thing that we can do to support defense production in this state, and you may hear this may sound a little ironic, is to end this war in Afghanistan and bring that money home to be used on products. We know that the products that we make are going to be part of our military for a very long time. Black Hawk helicopters and the next class of engines for the Joint Strike Fighter and submarines are going to be essential components of our military for 100 years, even as we transition into a force that is more designed to fight insurgency rather than standing armies. And so every dime that we spend on Afghanistan, which I would argue is not money well spent, is money that we're not spending to build up our new fighter jet classes, our submarine program, and our helicopter program. So if we get out of Afghanistan a little bit more quickly than the president would like us, we can have some of that money to pay down the debt, but we can also use some of that money to help buy these critical components that we make in Connecticut.